You're listening to DrachenPod, the official podcast of DrachenFest US. Please share, like, review, and subscribe to help our community of champions grow. Learn more and secure your tickets for this incredible experience today at DrachenFest.us. DrachenFest US, the largest fantasy LARP event in the United States. Each June, more than 1,200 attendees spend 4 days in Pennsylvania, role-playing fantasy characters engaged in immersive gameplay, experiencing stories, celebrations, battles, and medieval life. You have answered the call, and your adventure begins with this episode of DrachenPod. Welcome to DrachenPod, the official podcast of DrachenFest US. I'm Ryan Fariselli. I'm the marketing coordinator for DrachenFest.
Hi, I'm Carie Varner. I'm the design lead for Limbus.
And I'm Jason Hughes, the Limbus coordinator.
Today, we're going to be joined by Samir King, and he's going to be telling us about the children's program that happens at DrachenFest.
Samir's the coordinator for Drake Academy.
He's also one of the child welfare officers for DrachenFest.
All right, well, let's go talk to Samir and hear all about the program.
I can't wait. I love Drake Academy.
I summon into the podcast the one whose mathemagical solutions power the Drake Academy. The one whose mentoring cultivates the next generation of LARP champions. The one whose love for calculus is something we will never, ever, ever share. I call forth Samir King. Welcome, Samir. It's awesome to have you here.
Hi, thanks for having me.
How you doing today?
I'm doing well. We just got a blizzard here where I live in the Northeast.
Oh, goodness.
So, that's nice. But in general,
How much snow did you get?
16 inches.
Holy
Nice.
God.
Did you know it's 70 degrees right now here?
Oh, I have no idea where you are, but please make me jealous.
Have you shoveled today?
Yeah, we have. That's all right. I get my exercise in.
All right. Well, you're here to talk a little bit about Drake Academy, which is the kids program that DrachenFest has. Before we get into that, real quickly, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do for a living?
Well, I am Samir King. I am a math teacher at Amity High School in Connecticut. And, well, I think we all know what math teachers do for a living. But just so we're up to date, I spend time with high school kids, coaching them through mathematical ideas, helping them through their struggles as students. And I like to, because I have the summers to myself, I like to spend them helping kids learn to LARP instead of equations. So that's how I like to spend my time.
So the fact that you're a teacher is actually very relevant.
Well, I have an important math question for you.
Uh-oh.
What is your favorite kind of math?
Oh, as in subject? Certainly
Sure, yeah.
Calculus. Yeah, calculus.
Oh,
Okay.
that's fascinating.
I have heard someone say in the past that calculus is the language of the universe. And I went to school for physics, astrophysics in particular.
Oh, wow. So you're smart. You're like really smart.
I don't know.
He said he went to school for it. He didn't say he finished school for it.
What are you doing? You're being so...
Well, I do have a degree in it. I did finish it. But certainly I think when we study the way that things behave in the universe around us, that calculus is one of our best tools for representing that. And when that clicks, it's really something quite special.
So how does that click at DrachenFest?
It doesn't really click at DrachenFest. I suppose I could come up with an integral to solve for how much area we need to cover with the amount of kids running around.
Yeah.
the chaos of that. But it's more of I suppose I have the math and physics side of me, and then also the side of me that wants to caretake and nurture and bring up the next generation in a way that is responsible. And it's a nice way to bring it all together, I think, being a teacher. And then also the last side of me is a big nerd and loves running around in the woods and throwing spells at people. So it all works out in the end.
So we have a little bit of a gentle surprise. We kind of give you a heads up, but joining us today is a fourth person. Well, it's a fifth person.
Math.
It's all
subjective.
Math is very, very subjective. But joining us today is Dakota.
I summon into the podcast the one whose DrachenFest character is the first graduate of Drake Academy. The one whose bug assassinated the mayor with marshmallows to install a unicorn. The one whose skill at pronouncing dinosaur names remains unchallenged. I call forth Dakota, player of River.
Hi, Dakota. Welcome.
Hi, welcome. Hi.
So Dakota is Carie and I. We got together and made Dakota.
We did the math.
From scratch.
I'm the solution.
So Dakota is our daughter, and we have brought her with to DrachenFest for the last couple of years, and she has spent her days with you at Drake Academy.
It has been a blast so far.
It has been a blast. I was about to say, I believe Dakota's also our first graduate. So milestone student here.
Yeah,
That's true.
She's 16 this year, and as we'll talk about in a second, that is the top age for Drake Academy. So we've brought Dakota in a little bit so that we can also talk a bit about the kid experience alongside your experience as the person running it. So let's go ahead and get in. Tell us, what is Drake Academy?
Drake Academy, in short, is the youth program at DrachenFest, and it is designed for children between the ages of 10 and 15, though we often welcome young people that are a couple of years on either side of that to adventure with us, but the students themselves are between 10 and 15. And the general idea is that the adults at the Academy, we role-play immersively as professors of the Drake Academy, and we help coach the students through what it is to be an adventurer at DrachenFest and give them a kind of DrachenFest light experience that's more tailored to their maturity level, but also allows them to engage with the mechanics of the game, engage with other players at the game, get comfortable creating a character, role-playing, doing all the LARP things that the adults do, so that they would be ready for the full game experience when it comes time for that. And the nice thing about it is not only do they get the kind of soft skill experience of being a role player, they can also like attend guild classes and run around in the bazaar. They will go to the camps, and they can get some tangible skills as well, even get some mechanical benefits, perhaps a little leg up when it's time for them to be a full adult player.
So it's kind of a Hogwarts role play, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Except for better.
But more so.
Way better.
Yeah.
One of the things I know that you do, because from working Limbus, we see your group every year, is that you all make sure that you bring the kids to every single camp, and they get to sort of just briefly brush against every single experience that happens. Dakota has said that she sees more of the game than a lot of players, regular players do.
Yeah, because as a group, we all go around to each of the camps and meet all, like, one year we met all the dragons, which was really cool.
Yeah.
A lot of players can't say that.
That's right.
That's pretty cool.
I think that it's another part of what's really awesome about the learning, but also the experience of it is, I do think most adult players, they just kind of choose a camp based on what vibe they have, and a lot of them have well, maybe a time that is misaligned with the expectation that they had, and then it can kind of feel like, oh, I wasted a year, I lost a year doing this. Whereas at the Drake Academy, you get that, I get to sample the hors d'oeuvres of what it's like to play at the bazaar, play at Red Camp, go here, do this thing, go here, do that thing, what it's like at each of the guilds, and then you get a little bit of work experience almost, and you can make a more informed call when it's time for you to maybe calcify.
And the kids, they're playing a character as well, right?
They're playing a character. They do not get a character sheet technically. Like, they don't choose like I'm a warden class, and they don't like choose skills. They can utilize some of those mechanics with the adults, but we more focus on the role play aspect. What's your character's name? Where did they come from? Like, what's their motivation? Is there something particular that you want to do or that they might be interested in this year at the Drachen Isle? We think that's more where we want to focus our energy.
Are there any restrictions on the kids with their characters?
So the restrictions would be that they are not allowed to engage in combat with an adult unless they ask explicit permission, and that's all part of what we talk about with them as they come to the academy. The other thing might be that they would also need an adult to utilize any mechanics that the adult could utilize. But in terms of the less mechanical side, the sky's the limit for them, just like it is for any of the other characters at the festival.
Dakota, do you find those limitations to keep you and your group out of trouble?
Oh, no.
So tell us something particularly mischievous that you and the other kids maybe got into one year.
During my first year of DrachenFest, we all got hired by a mercenary to
All right.
attack the mayor.
Oh, yeah.
Attack is a soft word here for what might be
Attack
called
is a
something
soft
else.
word.
Yeah.
Would
Let's just say what you really did.
you say you murdered the mayor of the bazaar?
Assassinated might be
Maybe.
another term.
It was a politically motivated assassassination.
I like.
I think is the most specific we could be.
I thought it was monetarily motivated.
But what happened was we got hired and we realized that they were having us do it at the time that the mayor would be pitching his campaign to be reelected.
Oh, so what happened?
So
So
you were part of a re-election scheme.
Yeah, but what happened was a big group of us went and basically dogpiled him
my.
with marshmallows.
Wait, what?
You marshmallowed him to death.
Yes.
I mean, I've come close
We
before.
had
but-
we each had a bag of mini marshmallows and we just pelted it at him.
So even
We had a decoy draw him out of his tent, and then a kind of coordinated pincer maneuver converged upon him. He was bludgeoned.
what I love about this is how it shows, though, even in a serious, dramatic kind of assassination, it was still very kid friendly by doing it with
Yeah.
marshmallows. And what did the mayor think of all of this?
Well, I seem to remember that Dakota's character River dispatched him by saying, "Good luck in the Limbus."
Jason,
he was trudging along his way, I think, at the end of it.
Jason, you are the Limbus guy. Do you recall the mayor coming through the Limbus?
I do, and then I remember him coming back to the Limbus, an hour later? Because as soon as he got back up at the hill, my understanding is he got jumped again. Is that true?
Not by us.
It was not we do not claim the second strike.
But I did happen to, one of my friends is also a merchant, like the guy who plays the mayor, and we happened to go by his tent the next year, and I said, so how do you feel about this? And obviously he thought it was great, out of character. But in character he said, I have some plans. I have some plans. This is not my first trip. I have plans. We'll see how they play out.
So I was working the Limbus when he came through.
Oh, okay.
And he came stumbling in. And we all kind of stopped and looked, because you want to make sure out of character that someone's okay
Right, of
when they're
course.
stumbling.
Is the stumbling
Yeah,
in game
or
out
are
of
you
game?
having a heat stroke? What's going on? And he signaled that it was in character. So we immediately just started role playing, and he had this gooey white substance down the side of his leg. And we were like, what is that? And he's like, marshmallowed. I got marshmallowed.
So before he came to Limbus, he adjusted his costume and covered it with marshmallow.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And after he left, we all fell out of character, just dying, rolling. It was so funny.
Well, it was also like at the end of it, I remember one of the things that I participated in was cleaning up all the marshmallows that melted into the grass because it was so hot that day.
Oh,
yeah.
That was the fallout. That was the stewardship piece of learning. Was after you assassinate someone with marshmallows,
You
then
gotta
you clean up. And in this way, you heal the world again.
I think that's actually really important to talk about because it would be easy to have a really fun experience, but then for the kids to help clean up the aftermath of it, that's actually really great. You're teaching them, like you said, some stewardship.
I do think a big part of what we do at DrachenFest, this massive setup that happens, we all get to have fun, and then everything has to be taken down and borne away in a way that doesn't, destroy the land that we were just on. And I think there's a big part of that that's work and labor, and it's in service of the fun. But I think to LARP properly, you do have to work.
So who is mayor now?
There's. Would you like to share, Dakota? Who we installed?
Set it up.
While the previous mayor was in Limbus, the meeting going on where everyone was pitching their campaigns was happening. The old mayor missed it, so he couldn't run. But one of the kids figured it out and campaigned.
What?
And won.
So one of the Drake Academy kids was the mayor.
Yeah.
Is the mayor correct?
Is the mayor.
Right.
Yeah,
I believe
because
it has a
this coming
2-year
year
term.
is the election year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. I love it.
I like to mention, going back to your question about if there are any restrictions on the characters. It just now occurs to me, right? The mayor is also a unicorn. Not something I had encountered before, but that's the kind of whimsy that we get. And then I also know Dakota's character River is a bug, which I love. So the bug assassinated the mayor with marshmallows and installed a unicorn in its place.
That's like the best thing ever.
My favorite Drake Academy story is y'all selling enough snacks one year. One of the kids decided to sell snacks enough, and they sold so many that they were able to hire the most expensive mercenary company in the game.
Wait, to do what? Who else were they murdering now?
That was in the final battle, correct, Samir? That they fielded them?
Yes. Kind of pooled our money, was what we said, but 95% of the money came from Wolf, who is our student who runs Siege and Snack. If you've been to DrachenFest, you might have seen him carrying this cart around. Basically, whenever there is a battle happening anywhere, especially one that is quite hot or difficult, he will pull up with the cart and then say, "Oh, you look tired. Would you like a snack? Some water, perhaps?" And then the person will inevitably say yes, and then he will say, 1 copper piece.
So the most amazing thing that I'm hearing in these stories is that these are kids who are essentially attending the DrachenFest kind of daycare experience, and they are fully involved in the story in huge dynamic ways. And I love that they're not just relegated to just playing in their school.
Yeah, that's really important to us, is that we don't try to fence the kids into kid play any more than is necessary. The only boundaries we want to put on the young people playing are the ones that will keep them safe because they are not adults. Yeah. Other than that, we really want them to engage with the game as much as and as fully as any of the adults might.
As a parent, that's the thing that I find the most wonderful, is that I can pay to have my kid attend Drake Academy, and I know that they are experiencing LARP, they're learning LARP, and they're actually playing the larger game and having sometimes more fun than I did all day long.
No, absolutely. Dakota came home from the very first Academy day, And I was like, do you want to go back? And she went, yes. And like, she was like, you can't stop me. I was like, whoa.
It was a lot of
It
fun.
makes me glad to hear.
And I just want to make it clear, because it's my understanding, all these stories that we're talking about, the kids came up with this stuff. It wasn't the academy or anything. It was the kids themselves. Is that correct?
Yeah, like we'll sometimes have like a little nudge and a wink for them, but for example, the siege and snack was something that student brought entirely independently. The assassination was another character not involved with us who said, I think that Drake Academy will be perfect for this. And so that's the other thing is like, even if it's not generated from them, the ideas, like you were saying, the rest of the people at the game really do engage with us on equal terms. Like the person who wanted to assassinate the mayor, that he could have gone to anyone, but he thought, this is where I will look for help. And I think that speaks to the fact that people at the game feel comfortable approaching us and including us in their play and inviting the young people to play with them. And that's what I think makes it special.
I will say, I have heard people go, hey, Drake Academy's coming. And like people will scramble to make sure their costumes are on correctly. And
Your celebrities.
yeah.
To be their best.
Yes.
Well, we close Limbus down for like an hour on one day each year so that the kids can experience Limbus.
Yep.
Yeah. Limbus is always a big highlight, I think.
I love it when the kids come through Limbus. It's so great.
We can't really talk about it because we can't
What
really talk
happens
about
in
Limbus.
Limbus stays
But
in Limbus.
I will say
Right.
the kids at Drake Academy do get a very unique, different side of Limbus that is pretty cool, actually.
I'll also say that one of the themes of the Limbus is we're always going to give people the intensity level that they can handle. And obviously we calibrate that to the children. And more than once when they've come through, we've stopped and checked on the kids out of game to make sure that they're okay. And even spent a few minutes after the tour talking to any kid that was having problems, which is actually surprisingly rare.
Yeah, and even the kids that are afraid, one year I remember one kid was like, nope, not doing it. And we were like, that's fine, you don't have to. And then after she saw everyone go through, she was like, wait, I want to do this now. And like she, screwed her courage to and was able to do it. And she was so proud of herself afterward. It was so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think the other thing that people will be interested to hear is like 9 times out of 10 when you ask from Limbus, like what level of intensity is good with you, they all go like, make it as scary as possible. Give me exactly what the adults get.
Yep.
Maybe they bite off more than they could chew.
Let's talk a little bit about the out-of-game piece to this. So essentially, you are a child welfare officer for DrachenFest, correct? Can you talk a little bit about like the logistics of, I'm a parent and I think I want to bring my kid to DrachenFest. How old do they have to be? How does it work? With ticket-wise, things like that?
So specifically for Drake Academy, we take kids who are between the ages of 10 and 15, but that certainly doesn't mean that kids who are younger or a little bit older can't come. They might not participate in the Drake Academy experience, but DrachenFest, I think, is a LARP that is extremely welcoming towards families in general.
There are families that come that have kids that are between 10 and 15, and they don't Drake Academy at all. They just hang out in their parents' camps. Right. So this is not a requirement if you want to bring your child.
No.
I highly recommend it, though.
It's pretty I would recommend it, too. If you have a kid in this age range, definitely I would recommend. But not a requirement. And I think the thing that we want to say is that even if you decide that Drake Academy is not something you want to do, the adults at Drake Academy, myself, the other staff members, we are all federally background checked individuals. We work as educators in childcare, and we have specific policies in place to deal with anything that might come up related to people that aren't adults, minors. And so We are not only the Drake Academy, but we are also the DrachenFest staff that is responsible for dealing with escalating anything that might need to happen with minors. And so the message is certainly that regardless of your engagement level with the Drake Academy, if you are a family and you're kind of on the fence about whether DrachenFest is a good fit for you, I would say it is. And if you have any concerns about that, like, I'm happy to be the person that you reach out to address those concerns. And so, yeah, we have a staff that is ready and waiting to make sure that no matter what your age is at the game, that you have a good time and feel safe and cared for, like you can engage.
How does someone sign their kid up for it?
When you go to buy tickets for DrachenFest, there will be a secondary ticket window that will say a Drake Academy ticket that you can add on top of your ticket purchase.
They pay the regular children's ticket price, but there is a little bit of an extra fee to participate in Drake Academy because of the level of care and attention that's being spent by staff.
Yep, absolutely.
Exactly. Every dollar of that extra fee goes towards the staff members at the academy in terms of, making sure we have food for the
Snacks.
event. Exactly. Making sure that we get outfitted in ways that we need. And most of it, I will say the vast majority of that money gets put right back into the program. So it's like getting props, setting up the camp, just basically making it run.
They're like materials fees at school. Also, that those background checks that are run, they are not inexpensive. My understanding is that it helps with that as well. So during the event, how does Drake Academy work? Like, I've brought my kid. Does my kid stay at Drake Academy overnight, or do they stay in the camp with my family?
Kind of like a school. We have we have open hours and closed hours. And so every day that the game is running, we are open from 10 in the morning to 6 at night, and we will look after the kids, be responsible for them, facilitate their play during that time. But before then and after then, we would really want to encourage the kids to be with their families, playing the game together, having fun, because while we like to give this experience so that the adults can have some adult time and the kids can have some kids time, we definitely don't want it to be that come to DrachenFest with your kids and then don't see them at all. So we give the time during the day where they can have this experience, maybe independently, explore the game in a way that they might like without being under the helicopter of the parents, but then at the end of the day spend time with each other as well and keep playing and keep exploring how that looks.
Dakota, what was your favorite? Was it the parts that you spent with your mom and dad, or the parts that you spent at Drake Academy?
No pressure.
Getting to murder the mayor was pretty fun.
I'm going to say that when she's with y'all, she's working for me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, sure.
do the kids, is lunch provided for the kids when they're at Drake Academy? How does that work?
So we do have a lunch hour. We do expect that the parents will provide lunch.
Okay.
We can be with the kids during that lunchtime, but what we do provide is more like snacks, like water, Gatorade. We'll have like some fruit snacks, something to like just keep their energy up during the day. But we don't have like a substantial lunch for them, and so some parents will come get their kid, and then they'll eat lunch with the family. Some parents will drop off food. Some parents will give us food beforehand to have, and so it's really whatever works.
And DrachenFest is large, so I do think it's also important to note geographically large. Parents do have to walk their kid, and there is sort of a custody handoff in the morning
Yes.
and in the afternoon when they pick them back up. So there is safety involved there as well.
Yeah, and we are working on in the past, it has been the case that it's been a struggle for parents to get, because we operate out of the bazaar, And some parents are, in the Limbus or at a different camp, and it can be difficult to get up there. And so we are working this year on a kind of school bus system where at the end of the day, we'll make a round of the camps. And,
Sure. So they would still get dropped off, and they would get dropped off in the morning, but then in the afternoon, you could
Maybe
we can
drop
kind
them
of
off as a
bring
group.
them back to where they need to be, so that parents don't have to be. What do they call it? Killer Hill or something?
Yeah.
Heart attack hill.
Heart attack
Heart's a little
hill.
bit
So yeah, we always make sure that there is a custody handoff, as you say. I am designating this minor to be in your care. We are working on some systems to make it a little less taxing on the parents just physically to get to where they need to be.
Well, it's an excuse for them to go up and see the bazaar anyway. It's beautiful up there, and drop your kid off and then go to Curse Coffee.
Yeah, I was gonna say then you go get
Right,
a coffee.
right.
Yeah, that's right.
Get the coffee.
Or somewhere like that.
No, go get a cursed coffee. I'm obsessed.
It is very good.
It is.
the 10 to 6 time range, that is the primary time period for like the gate sieges, the camp, the big camp battles and things.
Guild classes.
Yeah, I was gonna say
And guild classes. Those are the things that as a player are the most difficult times to also be watching and caring for your child,
Caregiving.
right? And so with them being with you, that enables adult players to then be able to participate in some of those major camp events without having to worry about their kid being safe in the middle of a battle and those sorts of things as well. So it also, not only does it enable the children to have a more immersive play experience, but it actually helps the parents as well.
Yep. And then at night, when all of the different little festivals and balls and stuff happen, many of which are kid friendly, they'll be able to attend.
And the other thing that we want to is, it's not mandatory if a kid is in the Drake Academy for them to be there at all times. Like I remember one of the first years that we did this, one of our students had her father was coming up with a ritual. I forget what he was trying to accomplish, but he came up with a ritual, and he wanted to run it, and he wanted her to see it and be a part of it because he had worked so hard on it, and he was doing it during the academy hours. But she was like, "Can I go see my dad's ritual?" And we were like, "Sure." And he came and got her. They did that piece of play together that they wanted to do, and then he dropped her back off at the academy. And so we really want parents and kids to think of us less as like this rigid structure that needs to be adhered to, and more of as a resource to allow them to do what they would want to do and get the most out of the festival.
To ease parents' minds about safety, what happens if something goes wrong? Let's say there's a huge major windstorm and a tent crashes down on top of Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
This is a true story.
This is a true story.
Yeah.
So last year, there was some big storms that happened that only lasted for like 10 minutes each. One of those days, I was there helping set up the tent and like decorate it and stuff. And this storm hit, and it like took down the tent. And I had a shelf plus the tent crash down on me.
Now, let me just say that like this was a very unusual, quick, like microburst storm. The kids' tent was not the only tent by far that experienced this sort of thing.
And Dakota's very minor bruise that she played off as if she'd broken her arm was the only real incident at all. Just to be clear, that there wasn't like a house fell
Okay,
on her.
now hold on. She did
She did lose
bruise
those ruby
herself.
slippers because she was the evil witch.
No, I mean,
Wow.
you were hurt. I know you were
Yeah.
hurt, but she was not injured.
No
Clarify.
broken arms or
No
anything.
broken arms.
So what happens in a situation like that where there's a safety concern?
Well, basically, because we're staff members, we are jacked directly into the DrachenFest staff apparatus. And so we have our own ways of internal communication, and we have a very, very responsive medical team. We have a very responsive team for any sort of emergency. And essentially, what the adults that were around at the time, we made first sure to get everyone to shelter, to a location that was safe, that wasn't going to be blowing over like the last tent. And then immediately put out a call for our med team to come check on Dakota. And I believe that within 5 minutes, we had a doctor coming to check on her.
One of the other first things that happened is someone from either Drake Academy or operations, someone on staff telephoned my cell phone to let me know. And I can tell you that it was only a matter of just a few minutes because, obviously we're on site. We had the same storm everyone else did. And like the storm had whipped through very quickly, was over, my phone rang. And in the time it took me to walk up that hill to get there, the med cart was there checking on her. The response was faster than I could get there from my camp.
And to be clear, we're
the closest.
We are very close to y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have all of the parents' contact information, of course, and it's all part of the policy briefing. But we always make sure that our staff members are communication ready, and we ask parents to always have their phone on them. We believe transparency is the first thing. Always be in communication, and if there are ever any concerns, we can talk quickly in that way.
My favorite thing from that whole experience is every time I walked Dakota to the academy or even just heard any of the kids from the academy, every time they talked about the storm, it got worse and worse and worse. First it was a windstorm, and then it was a tornado, and then it was a
hurricane.
And then, and every time, and then you guys lost your entire tent and had a new one made, and it just made me giggle how like that story grew.
And the truth was, it was like a 3-minute microburst storm. Like it was really very, very small, but fast and severe.
Yeah.
That was a really important moment in my DrachenFest experience, because when Ryan said, hey, Dakota might be hurt, I don't know exactly what's going on, I'm going up to check on her, I just got this call, I said, well, obviously we're all going. No, I'm going too. And all of my staff, because, all the Limbus people came up the hill to check on Dakota because she's part of our team too. And when we got there, we weren't even the first ones. There were already people, other teams, anybody who was nearby was coming over to check on them. Players, staff members, every team, and it was kind of moving.
The community really cares about the kids that are under your supervision.
Even the owner of the tent,
the tent company,
Tamberlane came over and told us exactly how to disassemble the pieces that he needed to recover so that he could fix the tent. It was something. I'm literally getting a little choked up thinking about it. I'm sorry.
I agree. I feel the same way, that it was quite emotional because it'd be very scary in that situation, and I'm sure that the kids were very scared. But also, I think the immediate response of many people charging up and being like, "What do you need? What can we do? We are here." Yeah, the DrachenFest community definitely came through.
Like as soon as I knew she wasn't broken arm hurt, I was like, okay, she's going to be okay because she is surrounded by people that care about her and are going to take care of her.
Right? Better with y'all than with us. We knew y'all were close to them.
The med team does serve Limbus.
It does, but they're so much closer to them.
I bring this whole story up not to say that like bad things can happen to your kid while they're there. I actually bring it up to show how the safety and the care and attention to the well-being of all of the children that are on site is so hugely important to everything that DrachenFest and the Drake Academy does.
Yeah, I think the existence of the Drake Academy, I think, speaks to the fact that DrachenFest prioritizes young people and families, because most LARPs out there don't have a program like this. I'm not a parent myself, but I'm sure that it can be very difficult if you want to LARP and your partner wants to LARP and you have kids that you need to take care of. The fact that we have this program really speaks to the fact that the inclusion, the safety, the engagement of young people is something that's a priority to DrachenFest, and we really want more and more as this program grows to integrate that. and make LARP feel a little more like a family event.
And they can sign up for Drake Academy through the normal ticketing system. They just look for that option.
Me and my wife were avid Boffer LARPers in like the late 90s. We met at a Boffer LARP. We loved them. And we had to quit because we had a kid and there was no game that we could bring our kid to. I love that this exists now and that it is not just a thing that is done, well, we want to sell more tickets, so we're going to get parents there, but it's because we want kids to get to have this experience.
Yeah.
And I hate that my kid didn't get to. It's okay. You know, it's not your fault, but
It is why your kid turned out so
it is why
horrible.
that he is so terrible now.
Oh my gosh.
No, I think about the fact that he is very, very introverted. And if he had gotten to have this guided, safe experience,
It could have helped.
it would have helped him a great deal.
Yeah.
Well, Dakota, do you have any last words you'd like to say to other parents or kids that are thinking about maybe having the Drake Academy experience?
Maybe just one thing. Drake Academy will occasionally have its own plot, which is really good for the children because it helps motivate them to be a part of this amazing experience.
You recommend, highly recommend, 5 stars.
Yes.
I have a final question for both of you.
Oh?
We need to know, all of DrachenFest.
The people.
The people need to know, what was your very first LARP character?
Oh, wow.
Please be terrible.
The best ones are.
I guess I would like to tell you about my first D&D character.
Okay.
So I started playing D&D in high school, and I immediately played a dwarf called Footstool. And
I'm in.
Yeah, why? Of course, right?
Yeah.
And my favorite thing about Footstool is that he talked like this, and he was like a big burly, like beefy dwarf with a warhammer. Like he was a Tempest cleric, so he would like call down lightning strikes, and he'd be like, "Oh, like that was crazy." That was it. That was his entire character.
I can't believe this tent fell atop of me.
I'm now angry at you that that's not your DrachenFest character.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Right? All right. Dakota, what about you? What was your first LARP character?
My first LARP character,
This is tough because you've been LARPing since you were a baby.
and I don't remember.
There's pictures of her in my lap at Werewolf.
Well,
Yeah.
tell us very, very quickly about River, your Drake
So,
Academy character.
My Drake Academy character, their name is River, and they are a praying mantis person who is very bad at disguising magic.
Okay.
So, like, their antennas still pop out even in their human disguise.
oh.
Oh.
All right. Very fun.
Is there anything else you'd like to share before we go, Samir?
Would love to have you. If you are a parent that is kind of on the fence about Drake Academy, hopefully this convinces you that this is an experience that would love to help facilitate for you and your child. And at the same time, even if you are just a family that is thinking about whether DrachenFest might be the LARP for you, it is. This is, we prioritize the families here, and not just their safety, but also their fun and their engagement. It would be my great pleasure to meet every single family that wants to come to DrachenFest.
And I can promise that if you are a kid and you're listening to this, you will have a good time.
Dakota, Samir, thank you both so much for joining us to talk a little bit about Drake Academy, and we look forward to seeing you in June. What a great conversation with Samir. I think Drake Academy is so awesome.
They really are.
It's one of the things that makes DrachenFest feel real to me in a way that other enterprises certainly fulfill part of that. But I don't know, kids being there makes something real.
We didn't get to talk about this a whole lot with Samir and Dakota while they were on here, but one of the things that I think is so cool is repeatedly, over and over again, you see all of the players of all of the different camps and organizations they're in, like they bend over backwards when these kids show
They
up
really
at Drake
do.
Academy.
They're kind of the celebrities.
And one night I took Dakota, it was just Dakota and I went walking around and we stopped by the Altar in Blue Can.
The famous bar there.
Yes, a huge shout out to them. We got there, and there is a certain time at which the bar becomes 21 and up because they begin serving alcohol.
Right.
And I don't remember if it's like 6 p.m. We were there like 5 minutes after that time had started. We walked in because we were just looking around, and the person at the bar immediately saw Dakota and went, oh, you're one of the Drake Academy kids. What brings you by? And we said, we just came by. We're looking around, and she wanted to see the altar. And the lady at the bar said, well, would you like something to drink? And Dakota was like, yeah, I would love to have a drink here at the altar. And the lady at the bar immediately turned and said, attention, everyone. For the next 15 minutes, we are no longer serving alcohol. We are going to be a dry bar for the next 15 minutes so that this Drake Academy student can hang out at the altar for a few minutes. And literally went to being a non-alcoholic bar for 15 minutes while Dakota and I sat there and served Dakota. It was some sort of juice. It was a mixed cocktail that was non-alcoholic. She did the full service thing, but it was so amazing. And that experience happens with these kids everywhere they go.
I think what's funny is that story in particular, I talked to somebody about it, and they go, oh, yeah, I was there. The only thing was I got a refill before they flipped over. Wait, that refill. Did we do it? Yeah.
I have a question for the both of you.
Oh, no.
Before we go.
Okay.
Quiz time.
Quiz time. This actually was inspired by something that happens with Dakota with Drake Academy every year. So I would like to know what the next LARP prop, not costume, but prop, the two of you are excited about.
Oh, goodness.
For yourselves.
I think for me, the thing that I am considering building is I want to build a rat puppet for my character.
Your
God.
character that's a rat.
It's a were-rat, but I want to build the little rat that
makes
he
sense.
turns into.
Like a little Rizzo.
Oh, it's the rat he turns into?
Maybe.
I love that. When you told me the story before, I thought, oh, that sounds fun. And now you're telling me to, I'm like, oh no, you must do this.
It may or may not be the rat he turns into. He might just be a crazy guy that thinks he turns into that rat. Or maybe it is the rat he turns into. I don't know. And I love the idea that I'm never going to know. I want everyone else to decide.
I think you build the little rat, right? And then you put a cape on the rat, but then the cape is 6 foot long.
And I just
You see where I'm going?
I'll just hide underneath it.
Yes.
I am the raccoon in the trench coat.
Right. Oh, you bring a little podium and you set the rat on it, and then you throw.
What about you, Jason?
I don't know. I want to help build that now. Because my thing is weird and it's not weird, but it's just normal and selfish.
What is it?
I have that big set of foam armor that I made.
No, armor counts. That's good.
For our local game, and I'm slowly gathering enough sheet metal and doing enough research that I want to make one set of metal armor.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's endeavorous.
Yes, I saw a video where this guy made just the shoulder pads, sort of.
And I bet it looked way easier than it is.
Oh, he certainly did. Also, he had a one of those laser cutting machines for metal, so it made it a lot easier. But his was made out of individual feathers that were attached to a cloak. And I desperately want that, mostly because of the sound that it makes. Because when he walks around, it's like tinkling. It's not just the clang clang, it's like shling, shling. And I want
It's
that.
musical.
It's music. I want that so bad.
I love the idea that you're going to just be camped out inside your little workroom for the next 8 months, using snips to cut out these little tiny.
Yes, that's the thing. The first part is cutting out 200 feathers.
Oh my gosh. What about you, Carie? What are you building to help Jason with his feather?
I don't know that I'm going to build this because I don't know that I have the skill for this. And it's this is even more mundane than armor. I want a staff.
Like a bow staff or a walking staff?
I have no weapons, but I don't really do a lot of fighting at any of these types of games. I do walk, though, and having something to be able to use as a walking stick and to smack at things if they come too close would be nice.
For real. Let's talk about that. I think we can do something.
All right, that would be awesome. And I will admit, when I was a teenager, I did have a bow staff that I played around with. So. Yeah.
When she was a teenager.
Many years. No, I haven't had a bow staff in a very long time since someone left it in Chicago.
You.
No, you.
It was behind the door. It could have been either of us.
I
The reason I brought up the prop thing is because Dakota has already started talking to me because her very first year at Drake Academy, she was given an egg that hatched into a small like Drake dragon.
I love it.
3D model thing, and they all had one. And then the next year, last year, she was like, I want it to grow. And so we went and found one that was bigger and we bought it. And so she showed up and went, look, Rocky grew. And so like, she's already started talking to me about, we need to start looking for the next, iteration of Rocky and how big is he going to be? And, and I just love, like, cause then she's taking these ones that she's already had made. And she said, I want to give these to the new Drake students.
That is such a DrachenFest thing, right?
It is. I love it
such
so
a
much.
DrachenFest thing.
So
Teaching our kids to be better LARPers.
to pay it forward. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. All right, well, if you want to learn more about DrachenFest, you can go to DrachenFest.us. That's the website. You can find the links at DrachenPod US or on the show notes for the show, because that's where the notes are for this show.
That's where I put them.
Yeah, we call them the show notes.
Actually, Ryan does all that. I don't do anything.
You do nothing.
I do so
You do nothing.
little.
You spend all your time snipping feathers with little tiny metal snips.
My job is to be the person who creates the content that gets edited to help you with your editing
No,
skills.
that's fair. I got to have something to do.
That's true.
I got to pull it out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, until next time, remember, get your tickets for DrachenFest. And if you've got a kid and you want to bring them, make sure you get your Drake Academy tickets as well.
If you
Until
have a
next
kid,
time.
you should bring them.
That's right. Absolutely. All right. Well, we'll see you next time on DrachenPod.